Hello YouTubers, welcome to the Laytime Videos here, and today I'm going to tell you about the story so far for My Dot 2 for Season 1. Because I know Season 1, My Dot 2 it's been it's got voice problems, and some of the episodes are being blocked by the BBC, so I'll tell you the stories, but I will be releasing some of the episodes from the reboot playlist of 1 or 5 or something. Yes, 1 point something. So be ready until they were coming out. So let's start with episode 1. So yeah, in 2012, I start my channel of a Doctor Who special called The Mysterious Cat. The Mysterious Cat, the 2012 special. That's alluded to Season 1. So the story about this from that special is about the Doctor. The Doctor arrived on Earth, and he in a town, and he went to go to a shop, and he heard some people going missing, and they saw a cat, and so the Doctor was going to got some cat food and from the shop and found to hunt this cat. He found the cat, and then he touched it. He appeared somewhere in a spaceship, and the aliens who was behind the kidnaps was the Clash Axe. The Doctor stopped them, and he got off his TARDIS. Yeah, that was I was only little then. So episode 1 of Season 1. It's called Out of Blood. It came out on January the 1st, 2014. The Doctor was regenerated. It sets in the regeneration cycle. So yeah, and the Doctor crashed into trying to crash. It was almost trying to crash to Earth, and then the Doctor repaired the TARDIS, and then back to Bonia, and then he got his new clothes. So the Doctor arrived at Earth, and he wanted to go to London. So he got a car. It stopped, and then he got into the car. A man named Geisty who picked him up very kindly, and then the Doctor trying to get to London, and then suddenly he got in a car crash. A car crash that happened. The Doctor was unconscious, and then he went to the hospital. And he met a new companion called Jen, and they are both being kind, and Jen fixes the Doctor's arm from the car crash. The Doctor was still recovered from the hospital, and he used his son's screwdriver to teleport himself out of the hospital. And he's looking for that companion, Jen, to go to his house to lie down there. So he went to her house, and he met her again, and because he didn't know that Jen lived in his own house, the house I'm living now, my house, and the Doctor, well, he wanted to lie down, and then once he woke up in the morning, he sent a presence in Jen's house. The Doctor used his son's screwdriver to find out what's going on, and there's nothing. So the Doctor returned back to his TARDIS and find out what's the appearance, the force, the psychic force. So that he finds out that something inside the house has been watching Jen for a while. Why? Because when the Doctor was vanished, and then he was kidnapped into the void, and then the man who's behind the Jen's spying was the Trickster. The Trickster was the one who was watching Jen. So she can lure the Doctor to a trap, so the Trickster can take the Doctor, and Jen trying to get the Doctor back. She went in the Doctor's TARDIS, and he saw everything big on the inside. He helped K9, the Doctor's dog, to find out how the Trickster got hold of the Doctor. They went back in time to the car crash because they think it's a link to the car crash. Jen found out that there was a wasp that stings the Doctor, so the Trickster can get hold of the Doctor. The only way that can get the Doctor back is to kill the bee until he was never stunned. Jen going back in time before he went to work. He went to work in the hospital, and he found the bee, and he crushed it, and then he stopped the trickster getting hold of the doctor. The doctor returned to the TARDIS, and he realized Jen was in the TARDIS because crushing the bee, going back in time, and Jen and the Doctor never met. So, and now the Doctor have a time with K9 and the TARDIS and went into a new adventure. So, episode 2 now. Episode 2 was called The Planet, the Time of the Daleks, and it's a two-parter of that episode. The Doctor arrives at 1944. We met Winston Churchill, and Winston Churchill called the Doctor for a mission that involves the time war of Gallifrey. Winston Churchill found a painting of the fallen Arcadia. That's Doctor's home planet, called the Gallifrey Second City. So how did he end up there? Well, Winston Churchill found a clip of an alien spaceship. An alien spaceship crash landed on 1944. They think it was a flying plane, but from the Germans. But no, it was a Dalek spaceship. The Doctor went to find out what spaceship it is, and he opened the door, and he found a Dalek. A Dalek was being carried by the Germans from Winston Churchill for over 2 months, ever since the spaceship was crashed. The Doctor realised that Dalek was Dalek Sec. Dalek Sec would transport himself into the Time War, and what else? Oh, it was getting and the Dalek Sec gave the Doctor a deal to find the core of Skaro. The core of Skaro can send Dalek Sec to Skaro, where it was beginning, where the Doctor first met the Daleks. The Doctor went back to the Time War because for Dalek Sec's deal, and once again to the Time War, he met his other self, the War Doctor. They helped each other to find the core of Skaro. They went to Gallifrey and took it. So they can send Dalek Sec to the Time War and to Skaro, and the Doctor went back to 1944 to give Dalek Sec the core of Skaro, and Dalek Sec escaped. The Doctor wants to stop Dalek Sec before we get to Skaro. The Doctor and the War Doctor went to the TARDIS and then the TARDIS was kidnapped by another Dalek spaceship. And once they go out, they believe that the Dalek ship was the other Daleks called the Superior Daleks, and that was the end of the episode. So let's go to episode 3 that involves and begins the two-parter for the Dalek sequel. The Doctor and the War Doctor was kidnapped by the Superior Daleks, the yellow colour and orange Daleks and green Daleks, and they were kidnapped because the white Superior Daleks were being kidnapped. Were here in this episode because they're tracking Dalek Sec, that he's been involved in trying to change history for the Daleks. The Doctor and the War Doctor were kidnapped, and then once the Supreme Dalek made his mind, they sent me, the Doctor, got into Skaro. The Doctor trying to avoid his other self from where he meets his other self, his first original self, on the classic Doctor Who episode called the Daleks, and the Doctor gone to the city of the Daleks, find Dalek Sec, and he found it. The Doctor figured out what Dalek Sec's plan. He's trying to restore the Superior Dalek. Because the Doctor found out that the Dalek Sec and the Superior Daleks are working together to bring back Skaro. The Doctor escaped from Dalek Sec and from when he restored a Superior Dalek, and they known as Justice, and they teleport to the Supreme Dalek. The Doctor went back to his TARDIS and get the War Doctor out in the Dalek spaceship and find out how to stop the Daleks. The Doctor interrogates the Daleks from the TARDIS, and his plan is to swaddle the Skaro back to time into the sun. So once it gets there, Star Wars will go back where it was, where in the beginning. So, and Dalek Sig would never survive, but they only works by a few million years, and I have longer. Yeah, it's like the 50th anniversary special in the Day of the Doctor. All the Doctors send Skaro back in time to the sun, and Dalek Sig was dead. All the Supreme Daleks, and end of that episode. Episode. So let's go to episode 4. Episode 4 called Wholock. That was a Sherlock spin-off, and I'm not going to talk about that episode. That's all. But episode 5 then. Episode 5 was called Escape from. The title of the episode 5 was called Prisoner Zero's Greatest Escape. The Doctor was recruited by the Shadow Proclamation to find Prisoner Zero. Prisoner Zero was escaped, so the Doctor teleported himself into the Shadow Proclamation to find the Prisoner Zero. The Doctor found Prisoner Zero. The Doctor found Prisoner Zero in a prison cell. He was almost attacked by Prisoner Zero, and the Jadoon and the Shadow Minister saved the Doctor. The Doctor trying to figure out what Prisoner Zero's plan is. He's releasing all the prisoners from the Shadow Proclamation. The Jadoon are trying to stop these prisoners escaping, and the Doctor went back to the TARDIS and he found Prisoner Zero. K9 trying to shoot Prisoner Zero, and then K9 was attacked. The Doctor went into the TARDIS and he figured out that Prisoner Zero has done something to the TARDIS. He damaged it so he can use it to swallow around the universe and use it as a weapon. The Doctor saw the screen, and the prisoners were escaping out of the spaceship. And once they're on the spaceship, the Jadoon shot it down. All the prisoners were killed, every single prisoner. Only Prisoner Zero is the only prisoner. The Doctor trying to stop him, and Prisoner Zero looked in the heart of the TARDIS, and he raised every single of it. So that's it. That's what the end of the story. That story. Well, now up to episode 6. Episode 6. That's another two-parter, and it's called Dinosaurs in Victorian. The Doctor arrived in Victorian London, and he saw a poster that there's a monster on the loose, and he met Strax. Strax and the Doctor worked together to find out what is that monster. They found a time portal, a portal that leads to prehistoric times. The Doctor went step in the portal, and then he saw prehistoric time, all the dinosaurs. Then he went back to the portal to Victorian times, and he saw a dinosaur known as a raptor. The raptor was trying to attack the Doctor and Strax. Strax took out his gun and trying to shoot it. It got stunned, and Jenny and Vashta appeared and trying to figure out why these portals are open. The time portal. The Doctor believed it was a source. It's opening portals, a time source. So the Doctor wanted to go to the time portal and find that source. The Doctor searched around in prehistoric times, and he discovered eggs of pterodactyls. The Doctor was attacked by pterodactyls, run away, and then he saw a T-Rex. The Doctor ran away from that T-Rex. He went to another time portal. All two T-Rexes fight each other, and the other T-Rex win. So once the Doctor went into the portal that wasn't Victorian times, it was present time, 2014. The Doctor figured out that London was invaded by the dinosaurs in present day. Then the Doctor went into a house that he realised that was Jen's house. He knocked on it, and he saw Jen. the Doctor fainted, and that was the end of the story. Now up to episode 7. Episode 7, that's a two-part, that's part 2 of the two-part of the dinosaur sequel, and that leads when the Doctor was fainted. The Doctor was fainted when he saw Jen. Jen took him to the Doctor and had him lie down. He took all his clothes off because it's dirty, or because the Doctor ran around from prehistoric times in part 1, and yep, the episode title was called Invasion of London. The Doctor. So Jen doesn't recognise the Doctor yet because in episode 1 he destroyed the Trickster's bee, and him and the Doctor never met. The Doctor wants Jen help to find the source was evolving the time. We believe it's in present day. Madame Vasher and Strax entered into another portal, and he met the Doctor in present day with Jen. Jen found out that there was a pig portal where the dinosaurs first appeared in London. Jen took a car and with the Doctor, Jenny and Strax and Vashta to find this portal. The portal, that's where the time story is. I mean the source. And Jen was confused about the Doctor because he was talking about he met her. The Doctor put a mind warp into Jen, and he trying to remember, and he's trying to put memories that he met Jen, that Jen remembers the Doctor, and the Doctor and Jen were attacked by a Triceratops, and the Doctor and Jen went into the portal. The Doctor trying to save Jen, and he was surrounded by raptors, and the Doctor used a sonic to scare them away. The Doctor and Jen went back to the portal to present day and found the source, and once they smashed it, trying to smash it, then another T-Rex entered the portal. They can't destroy it when the T-Rex is out large. The Doctor raved the T-Rex to lure it into the portal, and it went to the portal. The Doctor smashed the source, and it was destroyed. The portals were all closed. But what does that mean for the Doctor and Jen? Well, I don't know. The Doctor and Jen went to the TARDIS, and Jen asked to come with the Doctor, and that's the end of the story. He wants to come with the Doctor. So let's go to episode 8. Episode 8 was called The King of the Cybermen, and the Doctor, and it's about the Doctor and Jen were kidnapped by the Cybermen, and the Cybermen want the Doctor to become the King of the Cybermen. The Doctor was stacked into the upgrading process, and he was converted into a Cyber King. The Doctor Jen was taken to a cyber cell, so the Cyber King and the Cybermen who could be ready to convert millions of people in the universe. K9 went out of the TARDIS and find Jen. He found Jen, and he told Jen how to get the Doctor back to make him remember. The Doctor, Jen and K9 went and find the Doctor, and he found the Doctor as a Cyber King. He made Jen trying to make him remember, and Doctor trying to fight back all his past selves, and then he back together as not a Cyber King anymore. The Doctor escaped from the Cybermen, and he exploded the cyber ship with K9. So that's the end of that story. And then suddenly in the ending, the Doctor saw the TARDIS as a past self of his 12th self incarnation of Peter Capaldi, and the Doctor believes that he's going backwards in time. And he left Jen, and the Doctor was he's let himself Matt Smith, and he went back all the way time, and that was the end. Of the story. So let's go on to episode 9. So episode 9, that was the 50th anniversary special of it. All the clip because it's in BBC block like it's been blocked by the BBC. So I'll tell you about that. Episode 9, 50th anniversary special released in 2013, and it's called what was it called again? Oh yeah, the corruption of time. The Jen was trapped in the TARDIS back in his 12th self and into his 12th self, and the Jen saw Carl Oswald. Carl Oswald was between when he went to to his time stream between the name of the Doctor and the day of the Doctor. He asked Clara to find the Doctor because he went backwards, and Clara went back all the way where it all began with his own first and 12th and second, all his time stream is going backwards. So, and once at the ending, he got into the Gallifrey where he stole the TARDIS in the beginning. Clara found the Doctor in the first original himself, asked him to get another TARDIS, the back edition Volskin, whatever Clara says in the name of the Doctor. So, and Doctor was back with Jen, and Jen and the Doctor continued their adventures until one day, in the ending, Jen was kidnapped again. The Doctor figured out who was the main villain in the finale, and they called the Oracles. The Oracles resurrected a Time Lord known as the Master. So let's go to episode 10 as the finale. So episode 10 of season 1, the finale, was called The Return of the Master. The Doctor recruited Manavashta, Jenny, Strax, and Sherlock, John from the Wholock, episode 4, and they both try, and Riversong to find Jen. The Master was kidnapped Jen. That he realized that the Oracles were playing the Doctor from all his adventures. On episode 1, the Trickster kidnapped the Doctor to get his blood, the blood that resurrects the Master. Episode 5 of the Prisoner Zeal, Doctor thinks Prisoner Zeal died in he raised always himself from the heart, looking in the heart of the TARDIS. He survived, and because Master survived. His Prisoner Zeal's mission to get the core of his time stream. That's what makes him go backwards. The Master have used the time cord and open portals every dinosaur. That links to episode 7 and 6. The Doctor destroyed the time that source, and he makes his time stream go backwards in episode 9. And then episode 10, that's when the Master gets his revenge with the Doctor. And the Doctor figured out where Jen is. And the Master. He found out that the Master and Jen are in Trendalore, where the Doctor's grave. The Doctor went there, and he met the Master. The Master's plan is to use the Doctor into the time stream. Once to get into the time stream, all his time stream will be destroyed, and it will be corrupt, and all of the universe will be destroyed as well. Jen pushed the Doctor, and Jen went into his time stream and saved the universe, raised every single army that the Master used, and the Master trying to kill the Doctor, and John Watson shot the Master. The Master escaped from his TARDIS, and he began to regenerate. He regenerated into Moriarty from Sherlock, and he went back. He escaped, and the Doctor was sad that Jen died, saving the universe from him. And that was it. That was the end of season 1. So that's for season 1. Thanks very much. And if you guys want any more questions about this series, go to the comments below and subscribe and like this video. And the reboot episodes of season 1 will come out in the reboot playlist called Doctor Who Reboot, and all the reboot episodes. So I'll be releasing, let's see, episode 5 of season 1, and what else? Oh yeah, that's all. Episode 5. That's all. Just one episode. Right. Thanks for watching. Tally-o!